Hello everyone, welcome to my channel hdorionn. We are studying accountancy for class 12th from T.S. Grewal's textbook 2023 edition, Accounting for Partnership Firms, Chapter 3, Change in Profit Sharing Ratio Among Partners. And in this video, we will study accounting treatment for reserves and accumulated profits and losses. So let us see some questions from the textbook. So let us see question number 21. Amar and Akbar are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 2:1. On 31st March 2023, their balance sheet showed general reserve of rupees 60,000. It was decided that in future they will share profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. Pass necessary journal entries in each of the following alternative cases. First, when general reserve is not to be shown in the balance sheet. Second, when general reserve is to be shown in the new balance sheet. So let us see the solution with detailed explanation. So solution 21, and first case, when general reserve is not to be shown in the new balance sheet. Now what is general reserve? General reserve is the undistributed profit of previous years, and it is shown in the liability side of the balance sheet. It means it is having a credit balance. Fine. And when the statement says that it is not to be shown in the balance sheet, it means we have to remove general reserve from the books. So a credit balance is always removed by debiting it. So we will debit general reserve account and transfer the amount to partners capital account in old profit sharing ratio. So this is how the journal entry will be. General reserve account debit, and it is of rupees 60,000, and it will be transferred to Amar's capital account and to Akbar's capital account. In their old profit sharing ratio, which is 2:1. So when you break this, Amar is getting 40,000 rupees and the other partner Akbar is getting 20,000 rupees. This way, general reserve is eliminated from the books and it is merged with, or it is transferred to partners capital account. So the total of the balance sheet will not change. Only one item is removed and the other items in the balance sheet in the liability side capital accounts, that is, are increased by 60,000 rupees. That's the only difference. So in this way, general reserve will not be shown in the new balance sheet because it doesn't have any debit or credit balance left. Now, in the second part of the question, which says that when general reserve is to be shown in the new balance sheet. New balance sheet and old balance sheet, what does it mean? Old balance sheet is the balance sheet before change in profit sharing ratio. And new balance sheet is the balance sheet which is prepared after the change in profit sharing ratio. But here it says that general reserve is to be shown in the new balance sheet. It means general reserve which shows which is having a credit balance, it is not to be touched. Means you cannot debit it and close it. Once you debit it, it will be eliminated from the books because it is closed. But the benefit of it should be given to the partners. In that case, the journal entry which we will pass here general reserve account will not be opened there. Fine. Instead, what should we do? We will calculate gaining and sacrificing ratio. As we know, the old and the new ratios we are knowing. So old ratio of two partners is how much? That is 2:1. And new ratio is 3:2. So we will calculate sacrificing ratio. As we know, sacrificing ratio is equal to old ratio minus new ratio. So let us calculate for the first partner Amar. Amar is equal to old ratio, that is 2/3, minus new ratio 3/5. And other partner Akbar old ratio is 1/3 minus new ratio is 2/5. When you solve this, you get LCM 15 and it is 10 minus 9, that is equal to 1 by 15. Fine. And for Akbar, again the LCM is 15 and in the numerator you get 5 minus 6, that is minus 1 by 15. So because we have calculated sacrificing ratio and the answer is coming in positive, so Amar is sacrificing and the other partner Akbar minus 1 by 15, so it is gaining. And we know that the person or the partner who sacrifices, his capital account is to be credited and the person who has gained, his capital account is to be debited. So based on this, we will pass the journal entry in which one account will be debited and the other account will be credited without without mentioning general reserve account. So let us pass the journal entry here. Akbar's capital account debited to Amar. So what will be the amount? General reserve is of rupees 60,000 and sacrifice and gain is 1/15 of the total profit. 1/15 portion they have sacrificed and the other partner has gained. So we will multiply it by 1 by 15. 1 by 15 and it is 4,000 rupees. So with 4,000 rupees, Akbar's capital account is reduced by debiting it and Amar's capital account is increased by rupees 4,000. In this way, the treatment of general reserve is done with the partners. At the same time, general reserve account is maintained as credit balance and it will be shown in the liability side of the new balance sheet. So this is the answer for this question. Now, let us see question number 22. Meeta, Gopal and Farhan are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2:1. On 31st March 2018, they decided to change the profit sharing ratio to 5:3:2. On this date, the balance sheet showed deferred advertisement expenditure rupees 30,000 and contingency reserve rupees 9,000. Goodwill was valued at rupees 4,80,000. It is the goodwill for the whole firm's goodwill. Pass the necessary journal entries for the above transactions in the books of the firm on its reconstitution. So it is the firm is getting reconstituted due to change in profit sharing ratio. And in the balance sheet, there is deferred revenue expenditure and at the same time contingency reserve is also there. Any sort of reserve is a credit balance. So it is shown on the liability side. It is a credit balance. Whereas deferred advertisement expenditure is debit balance and it is shown in the asset side. So both are reverse in nature. One is credit balance, the other is debit balance. At the same time, we also have to show the treatment of goodwill because the firm's goodwill is given in the book. So we will have to calculate sacrificing and gaining ratio for the treatment of goodwill, and these two accounts will be closed by transferring them to partner's capital account. So solution 22. There are three partners, Meeta, Gopal and Farhan. And their old profit sharing ratio is 3:2:1. This is old profit sharing ratio. And the new profit sharing ratio is 5:3:2. This is the new profit sharing ratio. So let us calculate sacrificing ratio. Sacrificing ratio is equal to old ratio minus new ratio for partner Meeta. Now, old ratio is 3/6 and new ratio is 5/10. Right? And for Gopal, old ratio is 2/6. Here 2/6 and new ratio is 3/10. And partner Farhan, old ratio is 1/6 and new ratio is 2/10. When you solve this, what you get? In the denominator, LCM has to be taken and 6 and 10 LCM is 30. So 30. It is also half and it is also half, so 0 is the answer. Now see, 30 divided by 6 is 5, 5 multiplied by 3 is 15, minus 30 divided by 10 is 3, 3 multiplied by 5 is 15. So it gets 0 by 30. So Mita is neither gaining nor is sacrificing in this change in profit sharing ratio. Whereas for Gopal, here also the LCM will be 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5, multiplied by 2 is 10, minus 30 divided by 10 is 3, 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. So here it is 1 by 30. Whereas here again the LCM is 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5, multiplied by 1 is 5, minus 30 divided by 10 is 3, multiplied by 2 is 6. 30 divided by 10 is 3, multiplied by 2 is 6. So the answer here is minus 1 by 30. So here it is sacrifice and here it is gain. So whomsoever gains, his capital account is to be debited, and whomsoever sacrifices, the capital account is to be credited. Now let us see the journal entry. So first we will see journal entry related to treatment of goodwill, in which Farhan's capital account is to be debited. Farhan's capital account debited to Gopal. Gopal is the sacrificer, and the total goodwill of the firm is rupees 4,80,000, and we have to multiply with this fraction, means how much portion in the total profit they have gained or sacrificed. So when you solve this, it is 16,000 rupees being treatment of goodwill. Now let us see the journal entry for deferred revenue expenditure, which is a debit balance and it is shown in the asset. So it will be transferred to partner's capital account. Mita's capital account debited. Gopal's Farhan's to deferred advertisement expenditure. It is an expenditure which is long term, means we have made heavy expenditures on advertisement, and the benefit of it the firm will receive in coming years, and therefore it is a deferred revenue expenditure which is an asset. Fine. And the amount here is 30,000 rupees, and it will be paid to the partners or transferred to the partners in their profit sharing ratio, old profit sharing ratio, which is 3:2:1. So 15,000, 10,000 and 5,000. So in this way, deferred advertisement expenditure is credited and closed, and now in the new balance sheet it will not be shown. Now the journal entry to close contingency reserve. Reserve is always a credit balance and it is to be debited and closed. So contingency reserve. Contingency reserve account debited, and contingency reserve is of rupees 9,000, and it will be transferred to partners. And now it will be broken or transferred in old profit sharing ratio, which is 3:2:1. 4,500, 3,000 and 1,500. So this way contingency reserve is also closed, and now it will not be shown in the new balance sheet. Let us see question number 23. X, Y, and Z are sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 5:3:2. They decided to share future profits and losses in the ratio of 2:3:5 with effect from 1st April 2023. They also decide to record the effect of the following accumulated profits, losses, and reserves without affecting their book values by passing a single entry. It means these three items, general reserve, profit and loss account, and advertisement suspense, they will also appear in the new balance sheet of the firm. Fine, because it is written here that without affecting their book values by passing a single entry. So we need to pass one single journal entry to give effect to these three things without closing them. Fine, and the amounts are here 6,000, 24,000, and 12,000. And we have to pass one adjustment entry. And you should know that general reserve is always a credit balance. Profit and loss account can be credit or debit, but in this case it is a credit balance, whereas advertisement suspense is always a debit balance. Fine, but one adjustment entry, if such statement is there, it means you have to give effect to this by calculating sacrificing and gaining ratio of the partners, because when there is change in profit sharing ratio, definitely some or the other partner is sacrificing, and the same amount of fraction in the total profit is gained by the other partners. Let us see. So solution 23, we know how to calculate sacrificing ratio, and we are having three partners, X, Y, and Z, and their old ratio is 5:3:2, and the new ratio is 2:3:5. So let us calculate sacrificing ratio for X. It is 5/10 minus 2/10. For Y, it is 3/10 minus 3/10. And for Z, it is 2/10 minus 5/10. So here LCM is 10, 5 minus 2, which is equal to 3/10. Here LCM is 10, 3 minus 3, that is equal to 0. Here also LCM is 10, and it is 2 minus 5, which is equal to minus 3/10. So here it is a gain, here it is sacrifice. So sacrificer's capital account is to be credited and gainer's capital account is to be debited. So we have to make treatment of these three items. General reserve is a credit balance item. Profit and loss account is given as credit balance item, whereas advertisement suspense is always a debit balance item. And the amounts are rupees 6,000, rupees 24,000, and rupees 12,000. Now they both are of the same nature, so they can be added, but advertisement suspense is of the reverse nature because it's a debit balance, so it is to cancel the other two amounts. Now it is 18,000 rupees credit balance. So for this 18,000 rupees only we have to make an adjustment entry. So in this journal, gainer's capital account will be debited. Who has gained? Z has gained. So Z's capital account debited. To sacrificer's capital account, that is 2X. Now Y's capital account will not be affected because Y has neither gained nor sacrificed. And what is the amount? 18,000. This 18,000 multiplied by sacrificing or gaining portion, that is 3/10, as we have calculated. It is 5,400, being adjustment entry passed. So this is the journal entry, which is the answer, and I hope that you have understood this. Now let us see question number 24. Bhavya and Sakshi are partners in a firm, sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. On 31st March 2018, their balance sheet was as under. Here is the balance sheet on the date. To the liabilities side, we have got creditors, general reserve, investment fluctuation fund, and Bhavya's capital and Sakshi's capital. And to the asset side, we have got furniture, land and building, investments, trade receivables, and cash in hand. See, general reserve and investment fluctuation reserve, these are the undistributed profits for which the treatment will be asked in the question. Fine. Here it is written fund, but actually it is a reserve. Okay, fund is an asset. It should be shown on the asset side though. Further, the question says, the partners have decided to change their profit sharing ratio to 1:1 with immediate effect. For the purpose, they decided that investment to be valued at rupees 20,000, goodwill of the firm be valued at rupees 24,000, general reserve not to be distributed between the partners. You are required to pass necessary journal entries in the books of the firm show workings. So let us see the detailed explanation of this in the solution. Solution 24. For the treatment of goodwill and general reserve, we have to calculate sacrificing and gaining ratio. The ratio is 3:2 is the old ratio and 1:1 is the new ratio. So we know that sacrificing ratio is equal to old ratio minus new ratio. Let us calculate for Bhavya. Old ratio is 3/5 minus new ratio 1/2, and Sakshi, old ratio is 2/5 and new ratio is 1/2. LCM is 10, 6 minus 5. LCM is 10, 4 minus 5. So we get 1/10 here also and minus 1/10 here. So it is gain for Sakshi and it is sacrifice for Bhavya. So sacrificer's account has to be credited and gainer's account has to be debited. This we will take for treatment of goodwill and general reserve, because general reserve not to be distributed between the partners is written in the question. So let us pass the journal entry for treatment of goodwill. So Sakshi's capital account will be debited. And Bhavya. So being treatment of goodwill, the amount of goodwill given in the question is rupees 24,000. So 24,000 into 1/10. 1/10 is the portion of gain or sacrificed from total profit. So 2400. This is the treatment of goodwill. And the same journal entry with different amount will be done for treatment of general reserve. And amount of general reserve is as given in the balance sheet 23,400 multiplied by sacrificing or gaining, that is 1/10. So it is 2340. So these were the treatments related to the second point given in the question and third point given in the question. Now coming to the first portion, which says that investment to be valued at rupees 20,000. But investments given in the balance sheet is of rupees 30,000. At the same time, there is investment fluctuation reserve also. So when we compare the value of investment from, there is a decrease of rupees 10,000. Fine. So first part we are discussing investment fluctuation reserve. So it is of rupees 20,000. So this 20,000 is there and it can absorb a loss of rupees 20,000 in investment, but there is a loss of only 10,000 rupees. So to investment. to investment. It is given in the book 30,000 rupees and market value, or it is revalued at rupees 20,000. So 10,000 rupees will be adjusted for investment, and the remaining 10,000 will be given to the partners in old ratio. So to Sakshi and to Bhavya. And old ratio is 3:2. So remaining 10,000 will be broken in 3:2, that is 6,000 rupees and 4,000 rupees. So this way the question is to be solved. And I believe that you have watched the full video and have paid good attention to the explanation provided herein. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing and sharing this channel. Thank you so much for watching this video.